Story 1. You do not care what women you are not interested in think of you, so you can be yourself. If you are interested, you want them to be interested back, so it becomes a performance. Story 2. You have to compartmentalize and remember at all times that she is just a person. Do not put beauty on a pedestal. She probably had accidents as a child. Her house is likely not spotless. She may have a rash or moles she feels insecure about, and she is likely tripped in public or spilled food on herself, among many other embarrassing moments. If you look for imperfections, and you will see them, she will simply be a normal person. That is how you do it. Story 3. It is easy to be comfortable when there is nothing to lose. Fortunately, being composed when nervous is a skill that you can learn. Story 4. This is quite typical. How do you behave in other stressful situations? Maybe start with those first. Story 5. When you are not emotionally interested, there is no risk of being rejected because you do not care. When some risk is involved, it is more nerve-wracking. Story 6. The only way I got over it is practice. Eventually, you get used to talking to attractive women, and it is the same as talking to women who are not as attractive. Also, as you get older, you care less about others' opinions, so the fact that she is attractive does not seem to make as big of a difference as it used to. Story 7. When you are not trying to pursue someone, you are fine with just being yourself. When you tend to try to leave a good impression, which ultimately causes an overreaction in the brain. Story 8. It's performance anxiety. It's the same reason why you can solve math problems easily during leisure but make silly mistakes on the same problems in an exam. Just stop caring and stop trying to make an impression. Think that you are a king and those women are trying to impress you and get your attention. Story 9. You are overthinking. If I say this, what will she think? Did I just laugh weirdly? Am I showing too much interest? Not enough. Just be yourself. Be confident in who you are, comfortable in your own skin. This kind of calm sends a great message. It also lets the other person know who you are instead of who you think you should be. Story 10. Weirdly, I actually feel the opposite. I am much smoother with women I am attracted to than with women I am not. I almost feel like if I act smooth and charismatic with women I am not attracted to, I am leading them on. This is all subconscious, but I am only just now analyzing it. Story 11. The same reason you can do anything in the privacy of your own home, like play guitar, sing, or give a speech, but then get nervous when you have to do it in public. It is different when it counts. Story 12. The stakes are low when it is someone you are not interested in. There is no fear of failure, which basically leads to confidence. If it is someone you are actually interested in, then you do have fear of messing up, so you will be anxious and less confident. One way to get over this is to realize it is not the end of the world if things go wrong. Just act normal, and if she likes you, then great, but if she does not, then no big deal. There are plenty of fish in the sea. Honestly, some of the most confident I have been was when I assumed I had zero chance, so there was nothing to lose. I was not even trying, so I acted normal, and it turns out women are more into that. Story 13. You are putting women you are interested in on a pedestal, and it is affecting your ability to be yourself. Treat the women you are interested in just like all other women. Forget they are attractive and pretend one of your male friends is sitting there. It is like when you get pulled over. You treat all police officers the same no matter what. Even if it is a very attractive female officer, it is still just officer and not oh hey there, darling. Story 14. I'm the same with women I don't know versus women I do know. It's strange, but it's how I have always been. Story 15. Just don't put her on a pedestal. You like her, but she is not different from the others. It works for me, and I hope it works for you. Story 16. Every time you start to blather, just forgive yourself and gently refocus on asking about them, being interested, and asking what they are interested in or what television shows they watch. Story 17. The attractive women I have had the best relationships with have always been the ones who put me at ease. Sometimes things just do not mesh, and those small issues tend to immediately create a sense of doubt. Story 18. You have to find your courage. I would say make it a point to always go and talk to them even if you feel fear. In other words, get used to it. That being said, a lot of women find that cute, but I think you have to be attractive for that to be the case. Story 19. If she is talking to you, she is interested, even if you are acting nervous. Be yourself, easier said than done. I recently met someone and outright said something like, "You see, I can talk intelligently about many topics, but when it comes to you, that sometimes flies right out the window." Story 20. It is funny that you say that. It is easy for me to make eye contact and smile when I am not attracted to a woman, but it feels forced with an attractive woman. Story 21. I found that for me, it stems from fear of upsetting them because I grew up afraid of upsetting my mother. My life revolved around her emotions. I have been working on unlearning that and not applying it to everyone else. Story 22. This hits hard. It's like the moment you really care about the outcome, your brain short circuits. It's all performance anxiety masked as charm. The trick I have learned is to shift the focus from impressing them to connecting with them. This makes everything much easier. Story 23. You make more mistakes and say foolish things than you likely realize. But since you aren't interested in those women, it doesn't bother you that you said something unwise. Think of it this way. I can walk a straight line down the street most of the time, and if I lose my balance, I just correct myself and keep walking straight because the stakes are low. Now try walking on a 6-inch wide beam over a chasm. It seems far harder because not only are you nervous, but those mistakes you normally make and quickly forget you cannot afford now. You will realize you have failed if you step out of line just once. So it's partly nervousness and partly selective memory. Story 24. It sounds like you are approaching interactions with women you like with a mentality of, "I need to get this woman to like me." Instead, you should approach women you like with a mentality of, "I would like to get to know this person to see if we have a connection." Story 25. Yes, I believe this is almost universal. You have two options. 1. Train yourself to be yourself. Always be self-consistent and confident. Or 2. Fake it until you make it. Internalize your mask to become the self-consistent and confident you. Or this woman you truly like might just like you being a blithering idiot. And she might wonder about her performance too. Imagine that. Story 26. It might be that you care enough to notice things that otherwise you would not be worried about. Alternatively, the additional pressure may be causing you to be too caught up in your thoughts. Story 27. That is standard psychology. Part of it is worrying less in general and putting these women less on pedestals. Part of it is just accepting that you will stumble a bit more if you like her and maybe recognizing when girls do the same with you. They are often good at recognizing when we stumble that way, for instance, and it is not always a bad thing. Story 28. You feel nervous because you don't want to miss your opportunity, but you overthink it. This is actually a good thing because it shows that you are humble. If a woman turns you down because you are not confident at first, you are the one who avoided a bad situation. Story 29. Because of the halo effect, the more attractive a woman is, the less wrong she can do in your mind. The solution is to separate your brain from your emotions. Also, to the people saying you are yourself with less attractive women and putting on a performance when she is attractive, that only applies to underconfident men who cannot perform. Many men perform better than they actually are, and women fall for them all the time. Story 30. There is nothing at stake with women you are uninterested in, so you feel confident. How did I deal with it? I did not. I have the exact same problem. Story 31. You know how people treat those they are attracted to more kindly? The key is to treat everyone that way. When you treat everyone equally, regardless of attraction, the irrational part of the equation disappears. Story 32. Practice. All the times you talk to women you do not find attractive do not count towards it. So talk to more women you find attractive. Or do what most men do. Settle. Story 33. There is nothing at stake with women you are not interested in, so you are not limiting yourself the way you might be if you are more fearful about the outcome. Story 34. Be an idiot. If being the idiot becomes overwhelming in the moment, tell her you are having issues not being an idiot because you like her so much. I must apologize for acting foolish. I cannot control myself because I think you are the most amazing person. Story 35. It has probably been answered already. There are no consequences with a woman you do not like in that way. When you have feelings for someone, You begin self-correcting in real time and end up looking like a nervous wreck. Story 36. You have high standards or another issue where you are pursuing women based on appearances or high status. My fiancée is beautiful and wonderful to me. I was not confused or less confident when I realized she felt the same way about me. Story 37. The problem is you are putting up a facade, which is almost always a huge turnoff for women because it is essentially lying about yourself. The reason you do not put up a facade with women you are not interested in is because you do not care what they think. Objectively, this is something you should apply in general. You need to be yourself. Story 38. I go with what I am comfortable with. Just because I am attracted to or interested in someone does not mean they are right for me. The right ones will not make me feel uneasy or nervous. Story 39. Back in my dating days, I had exactly that problem. I could have an animated and fun conversation with an unavailable woman, workmate taken out of my league, whatever, regardless of whether they were attractive or not. But when I was with someone I considered dating material, my brain turned to mush. I vividly recall a female colleague rescuing me with an astute comment to the woman, "Oh God, he fancies you. Just tell him he has no chance and he will be fine." Story 40. Maybe we all are like that. It is the overwhelming anxiety taking over with feelings of unease, making us want to appear perfect to the person we like. Relax, we are all like that. Story 41. You might become nervous around women you like because you see them as valuable. Naturally, you will feel uncomfortable because there is a lot at stake. How do you deal with this? Look down on them inwardly and psychologically without showing it outwardly. Once you lower their status much below yours, you will care less and likely be less nervous. This approach works for me. Story 42. Have you thought that maybe the women with whom you can be yourself are the ones in whom you should actually be interested? Story 43. A while back, I was overseeing a young men's activity at my church. This group consisted of teenagers, mostly early teens. I was trying to end a dodgeball game because we needed to move on to something else. For reference, I was in my early 20s at the time. The young men wouldn't listen, so I walked onto the court and, without thinking too much, caught several balls and hit several kids to end the game. One of the young men commented right after that it was funny how I just walked on and completely dominated the other side. But here's the thing, I wasn't really thinking about it. I feel like if I had been actively trying to win, I wouldn't have done better than anyone else. I've heard that the key to surviving in war is pretending that you're already dead and just going for it. Studies show that the most successful people with women are those who aren't really thinking much about what they're doing. I don't mean being rude, but guys who just don't care about looking foolish and are just putting themselves out there without worrying about rejection. Here are a few keys to stop overthinking. How many women have you met that you feel are attractive and you would want to get to know better? Is there only ever been one in your whole life? Definitely not. You don't want to feel like a fool, and women can say hurtful things, but you need to let that slide off like rain. Realize that if one turns you down, another will be right there shortly after. Don't worry about not doing well, just try. You get better at what you practice. With the above in mind, you need to get in practice. Don't treat women disrespectfully, but really practice approaching and being fun. A good goal is just to entertain. You may have seen videos on YouTube or Instagram of guys making funny approaches to women and asking them out. These videos are surprisingly successful, not because some of the guys are tall or particularly good-looking, but because they get a large amount of practice approaching women and get better and better at creating quick connections. One short video showed someone doing this around 100 times. His success rate improved significantly by the end, and you could see him become more confident and smooth. Just keep going for it, don't overthink it, and don't get down on yourself. Also, of course, don't be creepy by typical male standards, not just because girls might think it's creepy to be talked to. Most of all, push yourself to have fun. If you're having fun, they are too. Story 44. Fear of rejection by someone you like is common. You may be placing too much pressure on yourself to make it work. Although getting rejected is unpleasant, you should try not to worry about whether it works or not. People might hurt you. Are you willing to take that risk? Story 45. You don't think about all the women you aren't attracted to that you alienate by being your natural self. Why would you care? But when you're attracted to her, there are consequences. It matters if she is off-put by your natural demeanor, so it becomes a performance. The trick is to stop believing that it matters. Even if you like her, there will be others. This is hard to convince yourself of when you are young, but I think it fades with age. Story 46. Stop blithering and just listen. People are often thought to be great conversationalists when they have not said much of anything, except active listening phrases like, "How did that make you feel?" And then what happened? Story 47. Acknowledge that you like a woman. Then imagine she lets it rip and smells like a person who has not bathed for weeks. This will not change how she appears, but the change in your mind will filter out the excitement, and you will make yourself laugh. You will be self-aware, but through this change in your mind, your body language will follow. Story 48. Likely that small penis energy. Edit. My bad. I read this wrong as funny answers only. Just assume they are not interested and you are just talking to someone who happens to be female. Being cool and casual will make it easier for everyone involved. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.